Hello and welcome to Tarot Sherpa. I'm Christine, and today I will be your guide through the Good Fortune Tarot. This is a relatively new deck that was written by Barbara Moore and illustrated by Jessica Roux. Now, Barbara Moore has had a long relationship with Llewellyn Publishing, and she has published many books on tarot and tarot decks. And I'm a big fan of her work, so as soon as I found out that there was going to be a release of a new deck last summer, I was in line to buy it. So with this kit, you get inside a lovely literature box, the Good Fortune Field Guide. This is a full color, completely illustrated book that relates to this tarot deck. It is a fabulous read. And I say that it was written by Barbara Moore, but there's also a bit of a ghostwriter in here, a woman by the name of Simone Benoit. Barbara doesn't know who she is or where she came from. Barbara's not even sure if she's a figment of her own imagination or someone she's channeling from either the past or the future. It's a little bit of a mystery. But Simone Benoit has written a book called The Rules of Fate and Destiny. We don't know if that's been published yet, if it was ever published, or if it will be published. It's an exciting aside, but the advice that Simone comes up with in an augmentation to what Barbara has written is really a lot of fun. So you get your field guide, and you get a deck of 78 cards. It is a Rider-Waite-Smith based system, and if you're interested in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, I have done a review of that. So if you check my other listings, you'll find it there. So you do get 78 cards. You get 22 Major Arcana. You get 56 Minor Arcana, and it is arranged in 4 suits. You get cups, wands, pentacles, and swords, very standard. But what is really fresh is the artwork that Jessica Roux has added to all of this. Jessica Roux has also done the Oracle deck Woodland Wardens, and we'll look at that in a separate video because her artwork really is very lovely. She's a freelance artist based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and she has a lot of interesting art credit if you were to look her up online, and I'll include some information about that in the description box. But also, one of the teasers that they have let in the field guide is that Jessica is going to be doing a line of fabrics that relate to the artwork for this tarot. So I'm keeping an eye out for that, and I think anybody who's a crafter or perhaps a quilter would be wise to look for those as well. Okay, so let's look at the cards. So now we'll look at the cards, starting with the Major Arcana and the Fool, standing on the Orphic egg there. The Magician. The High Priestess. And notice how they use a lot of the traditional Waite-Smith symbology, but they've given it a fresh look. I really love that. Let's look at the Emperor and the Empress together, cards 3 and 4. Look how that forms one full picture. I love that. Now note a lot of the symbology that they've incorporated into their deck, or the Hierophant. They've got hearts, which symbolize all kinds of love here in the Lovers. Look at the Chariot and how this one Sphinx is giving you a little conspiratorial wink. I love that. Strength comes in as card 8. We've got the little mouse up here symbolizing courage. We've got the Hermit, where his lantern is also an hourglass. And the symbol of wisdom here is the owl. We've got the rabbits on the wheel here. Rabbits is a symbol of fertility. Notice here how Justice is kind of giving this scale a little bit of a nudge there for that mouse. She's not completely blind either. The Hanged Man, seeking the key, with the Raven of Omens and the Courageous Mouse there. Now note that there is no name on this card. It's simply called card 13, where in most decks this is traditionally called Death. Temperance. The Devil, and note kind of the Shakespearean reference down here with the donkey's ears, kind of hails back to Midsummer Night's Dream. The Tower. The Star, and again we get a little conspiratorial wink there from the universe. The Moon with the clock towers. And all of our dizzy bees there around the sun. Judgment, Raven, Omens, Messages. and the world, incorporating our courageous mouse and our inspirational fish and our busy bee and our wise owl. Love it. Let's look at wands. More busy bees there. Notice how she's got the world at her feet, whereas the traditional Rider-Waite has the world in his hands. Three of Wands. Expectations. Oh, I love that card. It's so beautiful. Four of Wands. Heading into joy. Note here with the Five of Wands, I'm not sure if he's dropped his crown or if he's trying to win the crown. Some part of the competition there is that power. Throwing crowns. Note here on our Seven of Wands that there is a little horned rabbit where it's a symbol of protection. Eight of Wands. Notice there's kind of like these little insects going on in those wands. Nine of Wands again with the bee symbology, fish, mouse, rabbit, and the raven and owl. Now, Barbara Moore pokes fun here at the Ten of Wands at what she calls the esoteric gentlemen of Alastair Crowley and Arthur Waite, where they're a little bit down on work. Their Ten of Wands are typically seeming a little arduous, and Barbara Moore's point is if it's work you enjoy, then why is that bad? Here's the King of Wands. We'll move on to Cups. A little inspiration there. Notice the owl's lost his crown. One thing I enjoy about this deck is all shapes and sizes of people that they use in this as the figures. Notice that there's a little bit of cobwebs here around these cups, kind of indicating stagnation, timing. And I love this little tea party and our little courageous mouse right up there. Oh, I love that. All the symbology is kind of incorporated here into the Seven of Cups. And the Eight of Cups. It takes a little courage back there to follow a new star. Love this Nine of Cups. Make a wish. Rub the lantern. A little courageous mouse and a little love. And now if we think back to the Ten of Wands, this is the result of all that work. Look how beautiful their treehouse turned out to be. Page of Cups. Knight of Cups riding a seahorse. Our beautiful Queen of Cups. I love her flip-flops. Very cool. And the King of Cups. And now we'll move on to swords. So we've got our Owl of Wisdom here. Two of Swords. We've got some inspiration in, and instead of being in front of water like the Rider-Waite-Smith, she's in the water. Whatever it is, she's in it. The owl pulling out one of the swords from the Three of Swords there. And look real closely in this halo. It says Pax there, just like in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck where Smith had put the word Pax in a halo in a stained glass window over a sleeping soldier. Six of Swords, we got wisdom, inspiration, courage. Takes all those things to level up. I love the Seven of Swords because if you look closely, some of the swords are part of her umbrella. Very clever. Eight of Swords, that crown of power is just out of reach, but it's not untenable. Nine of Swords. Ten of Swords, now that might be untenable with all those swords, but wisdom's coming in. Here's our Page of Swords with his messages and omens. Knight of Swords again with the raven. And I love this Queen of Swords. That's a woman who knows what she's about. Got the wisdom owl, got her sword. Yeah. And the King of Swords. And we'll move on to Pentacles. Our happy little rabbit there. And notice how in the ribbon around the Two of Pentacles, the artist has put the author and artist's name in there and then the date that they worked on this together, 2023-24. So I love that little touch. So we have our mouse, our owl, and our jackalope, horned rabbit. Mouse in the dragon's hoard. He's got the key. Look, he's got the key. Look up, there's the path. Follow the jackalope. And the weight of love. It's a courageous little mouse to stand under all that weight. I love this card. I think this just was beautiful. Beautiful card right there. The Eight of Pentacles. Little bluebird of friendliness there. Nine of Pentacles. Got this one I'm reading this morning. And the happy Ten of Pentacles. generational happiness there. Page of Pentacles with our little protective rabbit. And here, he's riding the rabbit, but he's got the horns. Our Queen of Pentacles and our King of Pentacles. And that is the Good Fortune Tarot. It's our historical side note for today. We're going to look at the Justice card. Now here's the Justice card that was presented by Barbara Moore and Jessica Roux on the left. And then over here on the right, we have one from the Tarot of Marseille. And this is a Lo Scarabeo production that was printed in 2022, but it's loosely based on the Claude Burdel 1751 deck. And I did a review on this Marseille deck if you care to watch that in another video. But I want you to notice the similarity here, that they've done a little bit of a nod to the Marseille deck in that Justice is actually balancing this scale. It looks pretty even here, but she's giving it just a little bit of a nudge. And the idea is that she's kind of favoring the courage of this little mouse. So just a little fun aside for the Good Fortune Tarot deck. So I hope you enjoyed our adventure through this Good Fortune Tarot. The roses and thorns for this deck, I see nothing but roses here. I thoroughly enjoy using this deck. I am a big fan of Barbara Moore's work, and I love Jessica